Welcome to Numbers chapter 35. Today we are exploring the brilliant legal infrastructure of ancient Israel. This chapter is a masterclass in distinguishing between deliberate malice and unintentional mistakes, protecting the vulnerable and ensuring that true justice cannot simply be bought by the highest bidder. The Lord commands the Israelites to give the Levites 48 towns, along with their surrounding pasture lands, distributed proportionally throughout the entire land. Because the Levites had no tribal territory of their own, they lived among everyone else. Core cultural guardians shouldn't be isolated in a centralized headquarters. They must be actively distributed throughout the entire organization to maintain systemic health and keep local branches aligned with the primary mission. Out of these 48 towns, 6 are specially designated as cities of refuge. In the ancient world, a victim's relatives would often seek immediate violent revenge. Here, anyone who accidentally kills someone can flee to safely escape that avenging relative until a proper trial is held. A healthy culture builds structural cities of refuge, clear, safe channels for employees to report and survive catastrophic unintentional errors without facing immediate mob justice from angry stakeholders. But the text draws a very hard line to prevent abuse. It strictly defines murder by the deliberate use of a deadly tool, like iron, stone, or wood, or by waiting in ambush. In these clear cases, the murderer must be executed. True malice is identified by premeditation or the deliberate choice of a destructive tool. It separates a clumsy systemic accident from a toxic intentional attack on a colleague. However, if someone pushes another person without any prior hostility or accidentally drops a heavy stone without seeing them, the rules change completely. The community must actively step in, protect the accidental slayer from the avenger, and escort them safely back to the city of refuge. When a team member causes massive damage completely by accident, leadership must aggressively protect them from the emotional vengeance of the affected departments, ensuring a fair, objective review. But there is a massive catch to this safety net. The slayer must stay strictly inside the city limits. If they leave early, the avenger can legally kill them. Grace has strict operational boundaries. If an employee abandons the agreed-upon restorative protocol and goes rogue, deciding they no longer need to follow the rules, they completely forfeit the organization's protection. As the chapter concludes, God lays down absolute boundaries for justice. First, no one can be put to death on the testimony of just one single witness. A just system never terminates a career based on a single uncorroborated accusation. Objective, multiple points of evidence are absolutely required to prevent weaponized grievances and internal witch hunts. Second, the law strictly forbids accepting a ransom payment for the life of a convicted murderer. The text declares that murder pollutes the land, and money cannot clean it. Foundational integrity cannot be bought. If a system allows high performers or wealthy stakeholders to simply pay a fine for their toxic violations while keeping their status, the entire culture rots from the inside. Finally, the accidental slayer isn't trapped forever. They are freed to return home safely only upon the death of the anointed high priest, which acts as a national reset. A system of grace requires a definitive structural reset moment, where past accidental debts are fully cleared, allowing the individual to return to full, unburdened participation without constantly looking over their shoulder. Numbers 35 provides a brilliant blueprint for balancing severe accountability with protective grace. This leaves us with 2 important questions to chew on today. First, have you built a city of refuge in your organization where people can safely report accidental failures? And second, do you require multiple objective witnesses before passing judgment, or do you react to single uncorroborated rumors? Take a moment, breathe, and let them sink in.